Hi, my name is Kevin Snyder, and I'm an estate planning and elder law attorney here in Irvine, California. And today I'm going to talk to you about what you need to be doing with your safe deposit box before it's too late. Many of my clients have safe deposit boxes, and it's important to them, of course, that their loved ones, their family, will be able to access that safe deposit box after they pass away. But what do you really need to know? Well, if the safe deposit box isn't known to exist, or the right people aren't given the tools that they need to access the safe deposit box, then of course you have an unintended consequence of the contents of the safe deposit box either going unclaimed because it's unknown it even exists, or there will be a lot of difficulty in accessing the contents and leaving a lot of legal wrangling for your family, which is of course something that you're trying to avoid. So what can be done? Well, first of all, it would be highly recommended that you document that you have a safe deposit box. It seems pretty intuitive, but the safe deposit box is something that often gets overlooked when we're thinking about things that we own and what our assets are. So document it in a place where you keep records of all the other assets and things that you have. We certainly suggest that you keep a detailed inventory of the things that you own and keep records such as account numbers and things like that in a safe spot. In addition, you're also going to want to provide a copy of a key to the person that you would want to access your safe deposit box. And why? Well, of course, they need a key to open the safe deposit box. But if they showed up to the bank without a key, the bank's not going to provide them one necessarily, and oftentimes will not. So having a key is going to be crucial to be able to give to the people that you want to access your safe deposit box. And you are able to get that key obviously when you open up a safe deposit box at a bank. They'll give you a certain number of keys that you can then distribute, and you would of course want to be very particular who you're giving that key to and keep track of who has the key so that if it needs to change hands, that you make sure that that happens. When a person shows up to the bank, let's say after you pass away, what are they going to need to do? They're going to need to bring the key. They're going to need to bring a copy of the death certificate, and they're also, of course, a government-issued ID so they can identify themselves. If they don't have any of those things, then there's going to be a problem for them to access the safe deposit box. And naturally, if they don't have a copy of the death certificate or the key, then there's going to be some problems. So what are some other things that you can do? Of course, you can name another person on your account, just like any account, a joint account holder, and that could get around this topic I'm talking about, having a key and whatnot, because they're an owner of the bank. So you pass away, the other owner is able to go to the bank and access the safe deposit box. But like I caution other clients on joint ownership situations and other aspects of other assets, you are accepting of all of the liabilities and problems of having another joint owner. So naturally you probably own the account if you're married with a spouse, but do you want to add on an adult child or other family member onto that account? If you do so, they have coexisting access to what's in that safe deposit box. And what happens if they also don't survive you? There's an accident and all of you perish, or they're not alive and you haven't updated the records with the bank for the safe deposit box when you pass away. And now there's no owners and nobody who has legal authority to access the safe deposit box. Then your family and your heirs are going to have to go to probate court in order to sort out the issues. And the whole idea, of course, is to create a streamlined process that avoids legal wrangling headaches. So the best thing that you can do is put your, if you have a trust, is to put your safe deposit box in your revocable living trust. If you don't have a revocable living trust, then of course the first step is going to be to create one, naturally, and then you can put the safe deposit box in the revocable living trust by retitling the account into the name of your trust. This would allow, of course, for two considerations. One, after you pass away, now your successor trustees are able to show up to the bank and be able to get legal access to the safe deposit box in a very streamlined process that would avoid probate court. In addition, what if you don't die and you're incapacitated, either because of an illness or an accident? Then your successor trustees are able to still access your safe deposit box because there might be a need to do so while you're still alive and be able to get access to what's inside. So a trust really is the most advantageous of all the different options. But remember, the aspect of the key, you want to make sure that whoever is going to be in charge of accessing your safe deposit box has a copy of the key to the safe deposit box. But honestly, and truth be told, there could be some issues with changing title of your trust, changing your title of your safe deposit box to a trust. Some banks won't allow you to do this. Why? Well, it's perfectly legal, of course, to do it, but some banks have their own internal policies of the things that you can name in a trust and what you can't. And some of these banks won't allow you to name a safe deposit box in a trust. So what if that's your bank? Some little quick tips for you. One, you can negotiate with your bank. Like I said, it's a policy of theirs. It's not a law that you can't name a safe deposit box and put it into your trust. So you can talk with them and negotiate and see if they would be willing to be a little bit more reasonable. So that's the first strategy. And if you have an attorney, you can have the attorney talk to the bank too and see if you can work something out. You can also shop around to different banks, other banks that would allow you to name a trust as an owner of a safe deposit box. And so you can do a little bit of research and get your safe deposit box from that bank. But of course, if push comes to shove and you don't want to change banks and your bank doesn't allow your safe deposit box to be named in your trust, and like I said, you're going to want to make sure that the person or persons that you want to access your safe deposit box, if it's not you, have all the legal documentation that they need, at least a copy of it, and they, of course, have the key to the safe deposit box. And if you do those things, then you're going to greatly reduce the risk that your safe deposit box and the things that are in it are going to get overlooked or go unclaimed, be unknown, or, of course, be subject to lots of legal ramifications later on. So if you have any more questions about safe deposit boxes, protecting other assets, setting up a revocable living trust, please feel free. Glad to continue the conversation with you. Just give us a call, send me an email. I'd love to hear from you. Again, my name is Kevin Snyder. I'm an estate planning and elder law attorney here in Irvine, California, and thank you for your time. Take care.